And we are back again. Okay, so in an attempt to keep the video as short as possible, I am just gonna start kind of running through each one that I wrote down to kind of go over today. So kind of like as usual, I'm gonna switch it up from week to week with just different pairs, and I think I'm gonna start going into indices and a little bit of the stock and just S&P 500 and, expanding a little bit so I can give you guys a little bit of a view on that too, or my bias on that as well. So starting with AUD, we are going to have some news this week, so keep that in mind. There's news for USD, NZD, AUD, renminbi, which is China, GBP and CAD, and did I say AUD? Yeah, I said AUD already. So yes, we are going to have some news with those couple of pairs today. So that's, or excuse me, we are going to have some news with those couple of pairs this week, rather. So keep that in mind as you proceed and decide upon each pair that you're going to be trading for the week. Okay, so starting with AUD, I had previously put some marks on AUD. As to where I felt like the bias was. I'm only going to use the daily this week because we kind of are in the middle of the week. No point in using the monthly for me personally. And I think this week I may try a bit of scalping. So I'll keep you in the loop on how that goes for me. I just want to, try to do a shorter time frame and see kind of if I can get a slightly quicker profit in that time frame, or see kind of how it operates for me. Okay, so with AUD, I have it kind of, like I said, I have it kind of marked up here. Let me make this a little bit bigger so it's a little easier to see. So with AUD, it looks like it could be hitting, or continuing on a, in a downward motion, so we could continue to see the market going bullish. Now, what I am waiting, the reason why I have this here is, let me just peer it back real quick so that you can get an idea as to why I have that little mark there. It's going to be so hard to see on the monthly. If you can see it at all, you can't. So part of the reason why I had that little mark there is because of where it's at right now is actually, it's a bummer that I can't see this. Let me see if I can figure this out. Okay, but even with me doing it like this, you probably still won't be able to see. I won't be able to squeeze it up enough. And oh wait, haha, I got it. Okay, so the reason why, I guess, as you can see, is here back in, when was this? No, because the advertisements are crazy and I haven't paid for it yet. This is the same place that I have the where I had kind of marked up my chart. So matching with over here and over here, this is where we're going to see some consolidation. So that's the part of the reason why I decided to go ahead and put that mark there, just in case I decided to put a move on USD. I know kind of where everything is at. Same thing with here, same thing down here, as well as down here. Now, I don't know if I would take it this far because this looks almost to possibly be a news candle or something of the sort. So I don't even know if I would go based on that or go that far down. So if we kind of go back to the daily, what I'm looking for in order to make a move here is I'm waiting to see what price is going to do when it gets down to this place of consolidation where it was previously. So if I see a bounce, or I see it kind of starting maybe to consolidate, I'll be either waiting for it to get past here with the close below, or waiting for it to get up here with the close above. So depending upon the way that it decides to close, I could either be looking at to see it come here, hit this little guy, and then head back down, or possibly consolidation. But I don't think that we'll see too much consolidation. So more than likely, I'm looking for it to head down, get a close below the bar, and then a retest around, hopefully, a nice tight retest so you don't have to wait for too long, and then wait for it to head back down. Then once it gets to this mark, you're waiting for the same thing. You're waiting for a break. I don't know if I would get out yet, but what you'd be waiting for is a breakthrough. So same thing, breakthrough, retest, and then down to the next area. Let me put a little, that is probably the most beautiful arrow I've ever seen. Anyway, so you kind of get the idea. Same thing with up here. Let's say this was our level that we were kind of looking at. I'd be looking for the market. Let me change the So you can actually see, I'll change to the brush tool real quick. So I'd be basically looking for it to break, come back down and retest, and then probably some consolidation here. And the only reason why I say that is because based upon this space right here, there was some consolidation. So then after that, you'll be looking for, because this will kind of be considered like another area where price was kind of, kind of consolidating at. And you'd be looking for price to break through this area again, back down for a retest, and then back up. The process is all, it's like an art. It's easy to read. It's simple to read, but it's not always easy. And it takes a long time to actually get to the place where you can read it fairly easy or have a naked chart. So that's AUD. I've already spent too much time, I feel like, on just AUD alone. So let's go to, sorry, I didn't have EU this time around, partly because I am trying to figure out what EU is doing. It's in a place where it's kind of consolidating. I guess we're on it, so we might as well just go ahead and do it. Fuck it. So right now it's kind of consolidating in between these two places that I've already pre-marked up. And I've gotten in this trade, too many times to even not be embarrassed to admit, so I'm not even gonna say. But I'm waiting to see what price is going to do, because it keeps kind of bouncing in between these areas, these two areas, which I need to pull over a bit, just so that I can keep an eye out on the consolidation, how far it's going to do this for. And then once it gets out of this place, I would either need to see, let me grab either my brush tool or something. Yeah, brush tool. So I would need to see this either break through here, retest, and then head up. And then we'll see what happens when it hits this area, because this is a bank level. Or I would need to see price come down all the way, retest. And honestly, I would wait for a retest, and I would wait for it to clear this area personally before I decided to go ahead and do a short position down. So that's AU. I wasn't going to go over AU, but there we go. So AU is done. We've gone over that one. Let's take a look at US30. US30 is, let's see what it's doing. Let's get up to the weekly and give us a better or a more clear look as to what it's doing. It looks like it is partially in a space of consolidation as well. So I always look back to the past to see what price was doing. And that's just an area. Take that as an area, not as like a specific space. But it looks like it was kind of consolidating in that space a while back. So what I'm looking for, let me get my brush. What I am looking for is for price to get below. I would wait for it to actually get below here. It may come back up and retest right about here, and then look for a long or a short position. But in this funky little area as to where price was previously at right here, I would be a little bit leery of maybe some consolidation. And then once it gets past that piece, this little part right here, once it gets past here, then you're safe to go ahead and get in on a long position. That's what I would do. Now, of course, you can do whatever it is that you want to do, but this is just what I would do. Now, of course, with price being right here right now, I'm waiting to see if it's going to break through that bank level of 3 and then bounce down back on it and create a space of support. And then I'd be looking for a long. But the thing is that sometimes when the long is like extra long, like keep in mind this is on the weekly, when it's extra long like that, sometimes it'll go back down for a retest, which is kind of a long, it'll be like a deep pullback. So watch out for stuff like that. Anytime like right out the gate, it can be really, really long, which means it could have a really crazy ass deep retest. So that's US30. I'm not quite trading US30 yet, but I just want to kind of start getting in the weeds of things just so that when I get ready to start trading US30, it's not unfamiliar. All right, so let's take a look at NZDUSD. So NZDUSD, let me scroll. Ooh, shoot, sorry. Let me scroll up a bit and get it a little bit squeezed. I know I had made some previous moves on this one too. Okay, actually, let's just stay on the weekly. This is perfect. So with NZD, let me make it a little bit bigger, just so that, okay, perfect. So right now, what I'm watching for, just like over here, let me grab my brush tool. I'm looking in the past to the now to see what's going to happen. I already have this level kind of marked off right here. Not a major bank level. Remember, I put all my major bank levels in dark black, but fairly close. So what I'm waiting to see here is it going to, looks like prices, let me squeeze it up a little bit. It looks like price is headed towards the upward motion. I would need to see it get up, maybe come back for a little bit of a retest, and then go back up or head up in a long position. Or if price maybe consolidates in this area. The only reason why I say that is because there's a long bit of a wick there. Now that could have been news related, but still, it's still maybe something. I will wait for price to break through, I would say, to about right there. And then I would look at going, waiting for price to break through here, come back up to test, and then head down for a short position. That's what I would do with NZD. Moving on to USD CAD. All right. So on USD CAD, I feel like the opportunity is a little smaller, just depending upon if you're a scalper, if you're intraday. This amount of space may not be worth it, but keep in mind this is the weekly, so this should be a decent amount of pips. But what I'm waiting for now, kind of not really waiting for anything on USD CAD, because if we grab, yes. If you look back here at price in the past, and we're kind of in that space, we could essentially see some consolidation here for a while before it decides to either break through. Let me grab some things for some levels. Sorry, didn't need to make that, or the last one. Let's see, let me grab this real quick and get you guys some levels so we can kind of get an idea. So I'm gonna put one level like here, this is just to kind of give you an idea. I normally do them like this little gray box, but this is just to kind of give you an idea. So yeah, like I said, we'd either be waiting for it to break through, come down for a retest, like so, and then head back up. But then we're waiting, you know what I'm saying, at this level, because based on the past, it wasn't able to really get past this level in the more recent past. Now, could it be a situation where in the further past where it was able to get past there? Of course. But I'd be waiting to see if it was able to get through there. But once it gets through there, will it even be worth it? Will it be a 1-to-1? Will it be a 1-to-2? I don't know. So you just kind of have to go based upon what your trading strategy is and your plan is. Could we potentially see it, not break through there, maybe come up here and test until it just can't test anymore, and then you're looking at it coming kind of back down here again, maybe, and then we're going to be looking at possible consolidation in this area. So that's something that I will be looking at for. It looks like it may be a slightly more quiet week depending upon how you trade. So that's USD CAD. Let's go ahead and move on to Euro JPY. So real quick, let's go through Euro JPY. Let me get down here and squeeze this guy up a little bit. So right now, it's looking a little bit like consolidation too. Oh shit, hold on 1 second. Okay. So essentially, again, let me grab my brush. Looking back here as to kind of what happened at price and where it's at right now. Let me get you a level real quick. Again, remember, I'll just use it on this one. I normally use these. as my levels. Maybe not so fat, but I normally use these for my levels, so we'll just use this guy for now. Bring this guy back. Okay, so potentially we could see price get up here, test, test, test. So some consolidation, test. Once it gets and breaks through this major bank level sitting here, then, oh shoot, then and only then will you see or have an opportunity for it to come back for a retest and then head back up. Kind of the same thing down here. If it gets up here and it keeps kind of doing this and retesting, so some consolidation, 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 we could potentially see it coming back down here to retest. If it breaks through here, I'd be looking, I'm gonna just draw this because I have it open, looking for it to get past here, and then I'll be looking for it to continue down on a bearish direction. I hope that was helpful. Tried to make it as short as possible, but I definitely wanted to go through this with you guys this week just to make sure you have a good handle on everything. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great trading week. Get after it.